Welcome back to Lyle's Friday podcast. Thankfully, last week we dodged a bullet with Hurricane Dorian, but obviously the Bahamas didn't. I'm sure you guys have seen the video footage and the pictures of the devastation that they suffered on some of the northern islands. If you have the means, I highly recommend you visit the Red Cross or the Salvation Army or one of the other legitimate, well-documented charities to help them however you can. Even $5 or $10 helps. So please do that and keep those people in mind. Moving on to Corvette stuff. July 18th, they unveiled the C8 Corvette. They also unveiled a relatively unbelievable starting price, a even more unbelievable 0 to 60 time, and everybody who is anybody on the internet that talks about Corvette at all immediately jumped on that and did a big video about it. I decided to wait until we knew a little bit more about what was going to be available options and what those options were going to cost, so that I could speak to you guys a little more intelligently from specifically my point of view as a Corvette consumer. We know that the starting price is $59,995, about $3,000 over what the base price of the C7 was in 2019. Now, I think we can all agree that for what you're getting, a $3,000 premium is chump change. This is going to be a world-class and world-changing car in the performance car world. You still have the 1LT, 2LT, 3LT, 4LT options as far as adding stuff to the interior and blah, 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 blah. You can add a lot of weight, you can add a lot of luxury. But myself, I drive a C5 Z06. I'm used to that interior. So the dead base interior in a C7 is going to be like me moving into a mansion. It is so far beyond everything I'm used to. I think that I will be quite happy with just the base car. That said, there are a couple of options that I would personally add to the car were I to order one. Number one, I would definitely do the Z51 option. It's a $5,000 option, but you get a whole ton of stuff on that car, especially if you have any sporting intent with the car. You get the electronic limited slip differential, you get the performance exhaust, you get the aero bits front and rear that provide up to 400 pounds of downforce. You have extra cooling surfaces, which, as we know with the C7, if you were tracking a C7 or a Z06, you were having cooling issues. So they have radiators all over this car. And with the Z51, you get even more to make sure that it stays at the correct operating temperature, even when you're pushing it hard. It's got the FE3 adjustable suspension. You can get the FE4, which we C5 and C6 people know as the F55 with the magnetic shocks on it. For the extra money, I honestly would just avoid that entirely, because we spend a whole lot of our time here at the shop with C5, C6s who have shocks that have only been on for about 30 or 40,000 miles and they're already leaking fluid, specifically the F55 shocks. And you know that you can buy them on the internet new, but they're anywhere from $400 to $700 a piece, depending on where you go. I would much prefer to stick with the FE3 suspension. I think it'll be more than competent. Not unimportantly, you also get the upgraded Pilot Sport 4S tires. They're stickier and they're going to be a little more competitive edged than the stock Pilot 4s that come with the car base NLT. So that puts us now, you're at roughly $65,000 with your base 1LT and your Z51. There are a couple of little things that I would add. I think my favorite is the suede steering wheel, only because I love the feel of a suede steering wheel. I think it really makes you feel that you are in something special. It's a $595 option. If you were going to buy an aftermarket carbon fiber and suede wheel, you'd pay that or more. So that's an option I personally would pick. I think the only option that I would miss having in the way that I would lay my car out is, because I'm not doing 2LT or 3LT, I wouldn't get that new front lift kit. If you haven't heard about this, it is an automatic system that recognizes when there is a speed bump or a curb or whatever in the near future of your travel with radar, and it actually lifts the car up. A lot of supercars have this, so that you don't scrape off your front spoiler or do damage to the front of your car. Furthermore, if you have that system, the GPS remembers where you had to raise it, and it can remember up to 1,000 different locations, and at that point it will raise it and lower it automatically when you're in those areas. That is a very, very cool option. Unfortunately, not available on the 1LT. My guess would be, purely a guess, that when they raise the price in 2021, that will become a standard option on all of the cars. So that's what I would do. I wouldn't pay extra money for anything else that added weight or luxury, because coming from where I'm coming from in a C5, it's all going to be fantastic anyway. This is all, of course, assuming that I fit in the car, which I am fairly certain I will not. For those of you who don't know me, you always see me sitting here on the video. I'm just a hair under 7 feet tall, so I barely fit into a C5 Z06, and I cannot even get into a C7. And from what I've heard, the interior dimensions on the new C8 are very similar to the C7, which means most likely the closest I will ever get is standing next to one. That said, I want to take a moment to discuss some of the effects this car is going to have on the car market, specifically in the Corvette world and the car market at large. I believe you're going to see drastic changes in the prices of C6s and C7s over the next 18 to 24 months. Reason being is you're going to see, you have 9,000 C7s on dealer lots right now that really aren't selling because everybody is waiting for the new car. And this happens every time they introduce a new model. So they've got some really great deals going on, but they're still not selling as quickly as they would hope. So they've got to clear all those C7s out. When the 2020 hits showrooms, what's everybody going to be trading in on it? That's right, C7s. So there's going to be a whole nother rush of C7s available on the used market in short order in the next year and a half. I don't know how badly that's going to hurt the values of those cars, but I think that it's reasonable to say that when you can buy this new mid-engine car for 60 grand, it is probably going to send a lot of even the nicer and upgraded and Z06-y type cars down below that price. I'm more than interested to hear your comments on that. So by all means, guys, this is audience participation on today's show. So please let me know what you think, because I'd like to get a conversation started with this and get your feel for it, because I'm in a very specialized part of the Corvette world, and you guys have different experiences in different parts of the country, and I want to hear about it. I think it's important to note too, assuming that GM gets this out without a massive number of recalls, it's going to be a big hit. They're going to build a ton of these cars. And when people can get this car with these capabilities and with these specs for that money, you're going to see a change in a lot of the desirability of the non-supercar marques used stuff, like the Audi R8 or the Acura NSX, or any of those cars that are used, 5, 8, 10 years old, bringing the same money as a new C8 Corvette. Porsche people are always going to buy Porsches. Ferrari people are always going to buy Ferrari. Nothing wrong with that. I don't think they're going to be affected by this. But I think the used market on a lot of the McLarens, the Audis, the non-huge following bases are going to be affected long term by this, which if you want one of those cars, is probably going to be good for you. But you're still probably going to have a better deal, and of course a full warranty if you buy the new Corvette. I think we can probably expect to see a Cadillac variant of this car in the next 5 years as well. They did a huge expansion at the Bowling Green plant, and they hired a bunch more people. I think partially that is due to the anticipated volume that the C8 is going to do, but I also think it is realistic to expect that they are going to try to capitalize on this brand new awesome setup for Cadillac as well. I would imagine the Cadillac would probably also tend to be a hybrid over gas supercar type of thing. And I'm guessing it wouldn't be anywhere near $60,000. I think it would be considerably more, but that remains to be seen. So I'm very excited about the car. I can't wait to try to wedge myself into one, because if I even marginally fit, I will start saving my pennies and hopefully be able to buy one before I'm 70. In the meantime, I really, really want your information, your comments, your thoughts on the things I've talked about today. How would you option the car? What options do you like and not like? How do you think it's going to affect the Corvette market in the future? These are things I want your feedback on. So make sure you comment on this, and I answer every comment myself. And also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so that you get my videos when they come out, because you watching my videos is what helps us keep making more videos. I hope you guys have a really great weekend, and I'll see you next week.